In this video, I'll provide an overview of our Airbnb research project. So here we are on our homepage, and I have a quick button to the research project instructions right here. Clicking on the research project button will take us to the instructions of the project. The purpose of this project is to apply our learning on statistics to real-world data in a business context. I break out the project into smaller components spread throughout our course. Each component addresses specific chapters and allows us to apply our learning to real-world data. The tabs at the top here will take you to the instructions of each component of our project. In this video, I'm providing an overview of the project so that you can get a big picture sense of what we're doing and why. In addition, I'll go in greater detail on the discussion board 1 and project proposal questionnaire. There will be other videos that provide detailed explanations of the remaining project components. So businesses use data to make decisions. Our project involves you coming up with a business idea and then using real data to make decisions to help your business. To start, you're going to pick a city that you could open up a business in. So clicking on the link here will take you to the page with the available Excel data sets. At the top of this page is an explanation about the data. The data sets for the various cities below come from a third-party website called Inside Airbnb, which obtained the publicly available data on Airbnb's website. Airbnb is an online marketplace and hospitality service that connects hosts who want to rent out their homes to travelers who want to stay there. The professor, that's me, then cleaned and prepared these data sets to make it easier for students to work with. This link here will take you to something called a data dictionary. This is like a cheat sheet that explains the variables in the Excel file. So when you first open the Excel file, it can feel a bit overwhelming because it's a lot of data. This dictionary lists the variables in the first column here, with a brief description in the second column. And in the last column over here, I've included some suggestions on how the variable could be useful to a business. For example, the variable called price is actually the nightly price for a stay. And this can be useful for a business to understand the typical budget in that area. So scrolling down, you can see that the data sets are organized by continent or region. And when you click on the city name, an Excel file will download. Note that the currency is listed next to the city name, so you know what kind of data you're working with. You can leave the data in its original currency, or you can convert it to US dollars if you prefer. So let's download the Montreal, Canada file so you can see what it looks like. Across the top here are the variables, and then down below are the data or listings. You are not expected to work with all of this data. You will likely narrow down your data set to a specific neighborhood or type of listing that is relevant for your business. And I have videos to show you how to do this. Now let's go back to the instructions page. You're going to come up with a business that you can open up in your chosen city. I recommend picking a business that sells to people vacationing in that city, to people who live in that city and rent out their homes, or both, locals and visitors. You will be sharing your ideas through our discussion board. This will give you a chance to see other people's ideas as well. You will fill out the project proposal questionnaire, which is structured like a quiz because that's how Canvas works. The questionnaire has 4 questions previewed right here. What city have you chosen and why? What is your cool business idea and why? What variables from the Excel file could you use to help make decisions for your business and why? These variables can change, or you can add more variables. This is just to brainstorm and make sure that you're looking at the Excel file and exploring it. Lastly, what are some secondary sources on your business or city and how they are useful for your project? Towards the bottom, there is a link to examples of past student submissions. You'll notice that some of the examples come from a 16-week course and are in a different format. But for our class, we use discussion boards to submit content. If you click on the Paris link here, you can see a student example of the project proposal questionnaire. I highly recommend looking at these examples before you work on your own assignments. These are good examples, but not perfect. So always refer to the assignment instructions and rubrics, and when in doubt, just ask me to clarify. Now let me give you a brief overview of the rest of the project. Clicking on DB2 Descriptive Statistics tab, through a discussion board, you are going to create some graphs, charts, or numeric measures based on what you learn in chapters 2 and 3, and share it with one another. This category of statistics is commonly used in business, so having this skill will come in handy at work. In addition to analyzing your city data, you must explain what it means for your business. You'll notice on these instructions that I have video tutorials in yellow on how to do the various analyses. Again, towards the bottom is a link to the examples page where you can see some past student examples. Clicking on the DB3 and 4 for inferential statistics, you'll be applying your learning from chapters 8 and 9 to your city data. In discussion board 3, you'll create confidence interval estimates, and in discussion board 4, you'll create and conduct a hypothesis test. In other words, you'll take our sample Airbnb data in order to understand the broader population that we're studying in order to make business decisions. Again, I've included video tutorials on how to do these various analyses in the highlighted links. Clicking on the Research Presentation tab, you will take all the content in the previous assignments and put it into a presentation that you will narrate. The presentation is usually about 5 to 7 minutes long, max of 10 minutes. This component gives you a chance to learn how to explain your analyses and interpretations to convince decision makers. So it's helpful to imagine that the audience includes investors or a bank loan officer whom you are trying to persuade that your business is a good idea to launch. I provide a template and some examples to check out. Not only is it important to know how to analyze and interpret data, but it's also important to be able to communicate it well to others. Clicking on the DB5 Peer Review and Feedback tab, you'll be put into groups of 4 and share your presentations with each other to watch and give feedback. This part gives you good practice at being critical of statistics being presented to you and how to give feedback to others. Even if you aren't the one creating statistics at work someday, you'll likely see analyses from colleagues and should know how to understand and critique them. Clicking on the Self-Reflection Paper tab, using the feedback from me and your peers in DB5, you'll write about what you learned by doing the project and how you achieved the student learning outcome for our course. This part of the project lets you explain your learning, which will come in handy if a potential employer ever asks you in an interview if you know how to work with data. So if you have any questions at all about our project, just let me know.